So Tiffany Cross, an MSNBC host, has come for Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels. Can you let the man rest in peace? Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Tiffany Cross, MSNBC host, as I will call her, Democratic Party operative. She may not call herself that, but whatever. Has Roland Martin and some other people on. And in fact, I'm going to be doing an episode soon about some past conflict between Roland Martin and Tariq Nasheed, because that in itself has been very contentious and somewhat entertaining. But we'll get to this point first. She has Roland Martin on the show. She's talking about Stacey Abrams, and there's talk that Stacey Abrams or Raphael Warnock may not win. What Tiffany Cross says is that even though she understands that sometimes black men feel attacked, she's saying that in this instance, she doesn't see that it makes any sense for black men to stop supporting Democrats and to support the oppressors, as she calls the Republican Party. My point with that is both of them are oppressors. Both of them are our enemies. Both the Democratic and Republican parties are our enemies. She does not make that distinction. She seems to act like the Democrats are our friends and just the Republicans are the oppressors. But she goes further. She then says to all of the Kevin Samuels followers and people that quote Tariq Nasheed, get in line. Why she felt the need to disturb Kevin Samuels' peace, I don't know. In fact, I think I do know. And then to invoke Tariq Nasheed once again, I think I know why she did this. The get in line part is just, this woman is out of her mind. But she specifically and intentionally said Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels' names. Why? To trend. She said their names on purpose just to trend. That was a calculated move on her part. She wanted this to go, blow up, and to go viral. That was her objective. And so now there's like, oh no, it's black men, because black men are listening to Republicans and they're going off the deep end, or they're threatening not to vote, and y'all just need to get in line. Like she literally says, y'all need to get in line. Woman, what? This is a key reason why men need to be men and take the lead. Women, like, listen to women's input and then make a decision. In this case, listen to her input and say, no. Thank you for your input. No, we're taking the lead. Because this desire to constantly capitulate is not in our interest. This is what black men need to be focused on. The time for constantly capitulating has ended. We're not going to keep compromising. We're not going to keep going along to get along, because that's essentially what she's pushing for. Going along to get along. Oh, but the Republicans are worse. Both parties are trash. Absolute garbage. So there's somebody tweeted that the Democrats will wait till after the election and kick black people out of the car. So I responded to them, and this is what Republicans do before the election. So listen, they're both garbage. I agree that Democrats will, hey, black people, we're on your side. Vote for us. And then after the election, do nothing. I also know that Republicans will tell us before the election, you got nothing coming. We're not doing anything for you. Just stop being lazy and vote for us. What? Kiss my black ass. That's what I say to Republicans. But guess what? I also say the same thing to the Democrats. And that's where it needs to be. Now, Roland Martin will say something like, oh, but then what you gonna do? You have no right to complain if you don't vote. No. If we vote for the Democrats and they screw us over again and again and again, that would mean we have no right to complain. If we keep falling for the same trick over and over, then we have no reason to complain, especially if they're not even promising to do stuff for us. Like if they're telling us, well, our hands are tied, we can't really do anything, but the Republicans are really worse. Okay, then we'll find somebody that can actually do something for us, or we're not rocking with any of y'all. And that needs to be the focus, because Roland Martin will pretend that, oh, there's no third parties, but me and him had that exchange on Twitter where I'm like, wait a minute, there's already at least 2 third parties in the country that are on the ballot in at least 45 states. At least 45 states, the Green and Libertarian parties will be on the ballot. Suddenly he didn't want to have the conversation anymore. I wonder why. It's almost as if he's not actually tried to find a solution for the problem. He's just a shill for the Democrats. That's what Roland is acting like. Now, with Roland Martin, I have to give him some credit because he didn't come on this panel and just, oh, black men got to get it together and these fools that follow, he didn't go on that at this point. At this point, what he was doing was he was criticizing the Democratic Party, but once again, he is promoting his own self-interest. He's criticizing the Democratic Party because he's like, they should have been pushing for the black vote, and specifically the black male vote, since January of 21. Since January of 2021, he said they should have been moving. He said they can't just wait till September of 2022 of the midterms and then think that they're going to start actually paying attention to black men and earn their votes. He's like, no, they were supposed to have been doing this over a year ago, like over a year and a half ago. And he says they should have been hiring black strategists and be dealing with black owned media. See, that's where self-interest comes on. That's where his self-interest is involved because his objective is, hey, spend money with my company. He has a business, but we have to realize at certain points, we have to be able to determine and differentiate when he's operating in his own self-interest and when he's operating in a greater interest for the black community or black males. But I want to give him credit for that because he didn't just go on the easy tirade of black men, shut up, get in the voting booth. Not this time. That's not what he did this time. And when it comes to people like Tiffany Cross, when she's being given coverage, favorable interviews, and attention by the Democratic Party, her interests are not the interests of us as a whole. Her interests are in furthering her career. And her career as a Democratic operative, as a Democratic Party aligned journalist, we got to use quotes, that's what she's focused on. She's not focused on actually solving the problems we need solved. That's why they were celebrating when Biden won. That's why they were celebrating when Kamala was named Biden's running mate, because they knew that gave them access. That's what that was about. Access for them as individuals. Go along to get along. That doesn't solve our problems. But the key is we need to know what we actually need. We can't ask them what they're going to do with it. We can't ask politicians and parties what they're going to do for us. We need to tell them what they're going to do for us if they want our votes. So if we say reparations, first and foremost, that's not an ask, that's a demand. If you're not supporting it, you're not pushing for it, you're not on board with it, you don't get our votes. And there are several other policies that we need to be pushing for. We need to be pushing for ending mass incarceration. We need to be pushing for overhauling the educational system. And frankly, we need to be pushing for getting our kids out of the educational system, because letting this system, this systematically racist system that's waged war in our communities for centuries, letting that system have custody and control of our kids for 13 years is insanity. If our policies, if our demands are not centered around these types of things, then we're not going to get what we need. And we can't, like I said, we cannot go to them and ask them what they're going to do for us. We need to be telling them. And that's what the black men in the community need to be doing. It's no longer a time to capitulate and compromise. That ship has sailed. This is what we want. This is what we're going to get. You're either with us or you're going to be under the bus as we roll over y'all. Because that's point blank period. That's what it's going to be. You either on board with us or under the bus as we roll over y'all. Because we're not asking questions. We're not waiting. We're not asking questions. We're making demands and we're making things happen. So if the Democratic Party isn't supporting us, the Democratic Party is just an obstacle that we're going straight through. That's it. No more time for playing games. No more time and just not voting. It's going to take more than that. And that's why another one of the policies we need to be addressing is the ballot access laws. Because Roland Martin will say, oh, well, third party can't win. Okay, well, that's why we need to be attacking the ballot access laws that are stopping third parties from being able to exist, like they did in New York. Like in New York, during 2020, during the lockdown, where they changed the ballot access laws to eliminate third parties. We've got to address that. And we've got to come head on to the Democratic and Republican parties and saying, if y'all are trying to keep a duopoly over the political system, we're coming for y'all. We are coming for both your parties, and we will tear both of your parties to the ground because we're not with the nonsense. We're not going to allow you to be the only two options that refuse to do anything for us. We're not with it. Like I said, We're making demands. We're not asking any questions anymore. We're making demands. This is what we're getting with you or without you, with you or through you. That's it. And to the sisters who are saying, oh, but we need, listen, this is what's going to be done. This is how we're doing it. We're not, the time for capitulation has done nothing for us, and they continue to destroy our community over and over again. They continue to engage in policies that are harming our communities. And so we hear what you're saying, and it's not working. We're taking control like we should have been taken, and we're handling this ourselves. We're not depending on the system, the systematically racist system, to serve our interests, because we know it's not going to. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And if you disagree, if you say, no, we need to support the sisters, go ahead and give me a thumbs down and tell me, if the sisters are just supporting the Democratic Party, are we really supporting them, or are we just supporting the Democrats? I'll see you next time.